Okay, one more guest to go. We're going to be joined in a matter of seconds by Jake Ellenberger, who retired on Saturday night. What a run for him. 33 years young. Nebraska's own retires with a record of 31-15. He's kind enough to be joining us now on this Monday after the fight on Saturday. He joins us via the magic of Skype. Jake, thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, Ariel. Thanks for having me.
What are the emotions like on Monday? The first Monday in a very long time that you are not a pro fighter. What is it like?
It's still processing. There's a lot of emotions, a lot going on, but a lot of excitement. There's a lot of good things moving forward that have been in the works for a while. So it's kind of nice to be able to commit to other stuff too. Moving forward.
Did you know that there was a chance that this would be your last fight? Was this something you thought about going into the fight, or was it a spur of the moment thing?
No, to be honest, it wasn't. I got asked that a lot. Even my coach, I took Jason Perillo was surprised. He had said, "I didn't know you were going to do that," and it wasn't planned. Obviously, that's not how the fight didn't go as I planned either. But there's no better place to do it than in my hometown, and obviously where I started my career. So I was fortunate enough to get that.
And by the way, are you hearing yourself? Are you hearing feedback when you speak?
I'm sorry?
Are you hearing feedback when you speak?
A little bit.
If you put the volume down a little bit, I think that would help eliminate it, just so it's not distracting for you. Let me know if it continues to be a problem.
Okay.
But your connection is phenomenal, by the way. It's crystal clear over there.
Oh, thank you.
Could you tell us, like, when that thought, like, so the fight ends, how soon do you start taking off your gloves, and like, how does that all transpire in your mind?
And I've been a guy too. When you start thinking of, if you get one foot out the door, that's usually a sign where it's time to move on. And that wasn't me. I was 100% focused and committed in training. Like I said, so it was never planned. It was not pre-planned at all. But unfortunately, a lot of those things were not on our time, and it was the moment, and it was one of those things where, like I say, it was a perfect opportunity for me and to be able to do it in front of my family and in a hometown where I started. So I was fortunate to get that.
When you went to the back and when people start reaching out to you and you start seeing your family members, what were those emotions like?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of emotions. I went in the back and I just talking to a lot of the staff, the UFC operations, some of the women that I've become good friends with over the years too. They were crying, and just seeing their emotion. I guess it really started to sink in. I guess the impact I had left, and it was positive. It was all good things. As far as all the years that I've gotten, all the opportunity that I've gotten, and again, it's still processing. It's still new, but one day at a time.
Obviously, there's been a few knockouts recently. Are you worried about your health?
Yeah, I mean, I always am. I always have been. I think you become a little more aware and a little more. It becomes more in the front of your mind, I guess, when you have kids. I have two boys, so their future and my future as a father is certainly the most important. So that's a big. That also encouraged this decision. I think. Again, I'm fortunate enough to get out of the sport with my wits. I feel fantastic. I have no long-term injuries, nothing that I'm really worried about. But of course, health has always been. Yeah, of course, it's always been in my mind, though. Yeah.
Any regrets?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. I'm sure they will come. I'm sure there will be. Because I always, processing and looking back, there's always things you're like, I could have done this, I could have done this. But at the moment, no.
You've been fighting for a long time, over 13 years, but you're still a relatively young guy. You're 33. Did you expect to be out of the game before you hit 35?
35 is actually the window. I told myself that I wasn't going to be fighting in the late 30s and the 40s. yeah, it happened a little sooner than I anticipated, but I was, I was in my mind, the blueprint was around 35, but there's a lot of things I want to do too. So that's still exciting moving forward. Like I said, there's things I can commit to now and really pursue, but I definitely have the passion to stay in the industry and support everybody that's been supporting me. So
What do you want to do?
sorry.
What do you want to do now that your fighting is over, but you say you want to stay in the industry? What do you want to do?
Well, we'll see. There's definitely some opportunity for could potentially do some broadcasting, potentially get in that side. We'll see. I have a couple other opportunities, but again, there's nothing's been set in stone.
Okay.
But I think, like I said, in a perfect world, I would love to stay in the industry, stay with the organization, even do some sort of analyst work or even broadcasting, something like that. Yeah.
Could you pinpoint one moment or a stretch of time where you were your happiest fighting in MMA, fighting in the UFC, like your favorite fight, your favorite moment, maybe even something that we didn't see, something that happened away from the cameras? What is at the top of that list when you look back?
I think earlier in my career too, there was a lot of fights that were taken short notice, 2 weeks, 1 week. And in a weird way, it's a positive because there's just less time to think. There's less anxiety. You don't think about. You just go. And there's definitely a lot to say. I guess that speaks for itself. But then there's definitely a few fights. I mean, the fight with Mark Ward in Montreal was a big moment for me. The main event with Diego Sanchez and Jake Shields were also two great memories, great moments for me. But I think it's just the relationships I built and the friendships I built over the last decade have meant the world. So I really enjoyed those. But yeah, I'd say the relationships anyway.
Okay. In the fight game, people retire, they come back. What are the chances you come back?
I don't know. Right now, it's no.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, like I said, it's hard to commit to things, and I'm a guy. I know the game of MMA and the commitment it takes. And if you're not completely in, this is definitely not the sport to be in, because the dedication, the commitment, as you already know, is completely 110%. So I certainly don't want to move forward halfway in or even a little bit. So it's either I'm all in or I'm all out, and I'm pretty. I'm taking a hard stance right now. So
okay. When you first started, the sport was in a much different place, and it's evolved a lot. It's gotten a lot bigger. Do you feel like you leave, with something like? Do you feel like you have something that is indicative of the time that you put in? Basically, are you comfortable? Do you feel like some people leave the sport and they're like, I have nothing to show for it? You know what I mean? I was
Sure.
I was around. Do you feel like you were able to actually make some money and profit from the sport?
I do. And like I said, the biggest currency is the relationships. I mean, like the relationships I built, the close friends I still have, I talk to on a regular basis. They're everything. And so that by itself shows a lot as far as the last decade, all the fights in UFC. That I've always had a great relationship with Dana, the UFC, and everybody that's. I mean, I've gotten the opportunity to train all over the country and really develop relationships. I think that would be the key takeaway for me. But yeah, as far as financially, I was smart with my money and made some good investments. So.
Last thing for you, Jake. A lot of people, I'm sure, reached out to you, have said a lot of nice things. Anything you want to say back to those people?
I'm definitely grateful. I was a fan first. I fell into this sport. It was not planned, and I, obviously did not reach I would say reach my goals that I had set in the sport, but just grateful for everybody I've met, everybody that supported me. So as I've told you, Nebraska was the place to be and the place to do it. So I'm thankful for the fans and thankful for everyone that's been a good friend and great support.
Well done, Jake. Great career. It's been really great covering you. You had some amazing moments. I remember that Marquardt fight very well. The Jake Shields one was just phenomenal. I'm hopeful that you leave with no regrets and that you are very proud of what you accomplished. And I'm happy that you were able to say goodbye in your home state. So thank you very much for doing this. I know it's been a very emotional time for you and your family, but it was great to talk to you after an eventful Saturday night for you. And hopefully we'll get to see you around the sport and that you're not going too far.
I appreciate that, Ariel. Thank you so much.
All right.
And I've really enjoyed your show with Chill. That's a good time.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Jake. I'll talk to you soon. All the best to you. And again, congratulations on a great career.
Thank you.
All right. There he is, Jake Ellenberger, the juggernaut. Great to hear from him. Great to see him. Wish him the very best. What a great run it was for him. 31-15. He says goodbye on Saturday night in his home state of Nebraska. All right. We're going to say goodbye now, and you can hit my music as we say goodbye. But later on today on our iTunes feed and also on YouTube and wherever else you consume the show, there it is. You can check out the post show, and that's where New York Rick and I will be answering your questions, talking a bit about the betting lines from this past Saturday, maybe looking ahead to the weekend. Patty the Batty returns for Cage Warriors, so there's still much to discuss, and that will be up later on. But that's it for the interview portion of today's show. And by the way, I want to remind all of you that next week we're off on Monday because it's Labor Day here in the United States, also in Canada and some other places as well. I don't think it's Labor Day all over the world, but it's a fairly recognized holiday, and typically we're off on Monday. So we're back on Tuesday, though. So we're not saying goodbye for the week or for 2 weeks. Back on Tuesday, same time and place. We'll just have the Tuesday live show at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Want to thank everyone who tuned in. Want to thank everyone who stopped by. Thank you very much to Justin Gaethje. Congratulations to him. Thank you very much to Joanne Calderwood. Congratulations to her. Congrats to Eric Anders. All the best in the next couple of months to Anthony Pettis. Thank you very much to Bryce Mitchell. Get well soon. Thank you very much to Cajun Johnson. Tyron Woodley, good luck to him. Jimmy Manua, Jimmy Rivera. Congratulations to Mickey Gull. Congrats on the new deal to Michael Chandler. And again, all the best to one Jake Ellenberger. As I said, back on Tuesday, same time and place. If you missed anything, check it out. iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, ESPN.com. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.